He's the beat writer for the Oakland Tribune, Bay Area newspaper group. You got an easy job there, Jerry. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. How's the drama level out there?
Well, they denied media access today and having a walkthrough instead. So we get a day. We'll have to do our drama from afar.
Wait, why were you denied access?
No, I think it's just a day instead of having a regular practice, they decided to have a walkthrough, and then they're not required to open it to the media in those situations. So I don't think there's anything nefarious at hand.
With Hard Knocks and Antonio Brown's availability, I know he loves the camera, but is he officially not in camp?
I don't believe so. I mean, I don't think he's been there for more than a week. I don't believe he's been at meetings. He hasn't been on the field. They've been really quiet about it until after the game on Saturday night where Gruden came out and supported him. And I took that to mean they expect him in soon.
But I don't understand this. He may be uncomfortable walking with his feet, and he may be uncomfortable with that new helmet. Apparently he's uncomfortable going to team meetings. Like, why is he not in team meetings?
Well, he's been out supposedly getting second and third opinions on his feet with doctors outside. See, Antonio's we've discovered kind of a one-man band. He has his own trainers. He has his own dietitian. He has, an entourage that pretty much takes care of him. The Raiders signed on for certain things when they brought him in, and I think they're finding out pretty quick that they kind of went through this with Marshawn Lynch a little bit, who kind of operated on his own, and Antonio was Marshawn times 5.
You have Gruden publicly backing him. Do you buy that?
I buy that he thinks that Antonio will be in soon, and I buy that when he gets out in the practice field, if he does what we saw in the off season and in the brief window we saw him in training camp, and he goes out and torches somebody for 10 catches on 150 yards, John Gruden will forget all about all this stuff.
When did the Raiders find out about the helmet issue, considering, he's been in camp or been signed for quite some time?
Well, I think they knew it was a problem, I think, during the offseason when they tried to tell him that he couldn't use it, but he was being real stubborn about it and insisting that he wanted to use it. So they've known for a while. I think it's a situation they've just kind of managed, and they didn't think it would get this out of hand.
You've been around there a long time covering this team. You were there, I think, for the first go-round with John Gruden, one of the few survivors. But John Gruden 2.0, what's the biggest difference in him?
I don't know that there is a big difference in him. I think the difference is in what's going on around him. It's different kinds of players he's dealing with, millennials, so to speak. I think he has kind of stayed the same, but putting a team together and executing and all that. I mean, he knows as much football as he's ever known, probably more. But he's got to show that he can still put together a winning team and get them to execute on the field.
Do you think he can?
Yeah, I think he can. I mean, I don't know that he can this year. I mean, their schedule is so difficult that, I think 7 wins would be a really good year. I mean, they leave Oakland after week 2 and they don't come back till November.
Crazy.
So, it is pretty much an insane schedule. Yeah, I think he can. I've known the guy for a long time. I'm probably in his corner, I would say, as much as you can be as a beat writer. I'd love to see him do well, although it's not going to happen on my watch because they'll be out of town next year.
Derek Carr in the spotlight. How hot is that spotlight?
Well, I think lately Antonio's taken that a little off him. Because that seems to be all anybody's talking about.
Yeah.
But this is obviously a big year for Derek. I mean, I didn't buy that Gruden was looking for a quarterback last year. I didn't buy any of the Kyler Murray or Dwayne Haskins talk because that's not his track record. John has never turned over the keys to his offense to a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
And they drafted, I think the highest guy they drafted was Marcus Tuiasosopo with the Raiders, and then Chris Sims with Tampa. Neither of those guys got a whiff as a rookie. And, I think he got through last year with Derek, and Derek learned the offense. And I think the last thing he wanted to do was, tear it all down and start all over with a young quarterback. But this year he's had it. The offense, has been in his hands for a year. And I think this year is a big year for him.
Talking to Jerry McDonald, he is the beat writer for the Oakland Tribune, joining us, Stan Patrick Show. Covered the Raiders since 1995. Is this a fun job?
Yeah, it's just I was thinking of, this is the 25th year since they've been back in Oakland, and if you judge a good team by a team that's over 500, the Raiders have had 4 good teams in 25 years, but it's never been dull.
But I didn't know if is it frustrating trying to get information, with Mark Davis or, Gruden loves to talk. So I don't know if covering the team, while they're like the Patriots can be interesting occasionally, but for the most part, your 2 key ingredients there don't say that much to the media or go out of their way to do that. Gruden's not afraid. He'll say something, and Antonio Brown there. I just didn't know if you can get information out of that franchise.
I think it depends on who you know and who will talk to you, obviously. The whole Antonio Brown thing is, we don't talk to him at all. We've had him at a podium like twice. Once when he got signed, and once in the off season. So, and he kind of operates on his own, has his own media people, and I think he goes through them pretty quickly. So, with Antonio, we don't get a lot from him, but, from the coach, it's okay. And I think they've kind of, it's tightened up a little, I think, with, in terms of access and getting players because of Hard Knocks being around this year. But, I think it's pretty much, I think, like any other job, any other NFL job. I think the whole league as a whole is headed that way in terms of trying to turn off information whenever they can.
Well, good luck there, Jerry, fighting the good fight, and thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
That's Jerry McDonald, beat writer for Oakland Tribune.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.